Well, obviously, we won the football game. We did a lot of good things situationally. Obviously, it's the turnovers, right? You see the turnovers. They're unfortunate because what they do. I talk to you guys all the time about we always want to possess the ball. Anytime you have the players that we have, you want to possess it to allow them to continue to make plays. And we did a poor job of that the other night. It's things we can work on, get better, but I do like how we handled those situations, did what we had to do to find a way to win the game.
Byron, you look back to last year, and everyone talks about the bye week kind of being a catalyst for the end there. Sorry.
Went from Todd Bowles to Bruce, huh? I'm just joking with you.
When you think about turning points for this offense, how much did things change with the halftime of the first Falcons game last year, going from 17-0 to rallying back to take that game?
I just remember us feeling, and I remember the feeling in the locker room that we really didn't do anything. You know, you didn't do anything. We felt good about going into the game, but we just wasn't in no position to really make the plays happen. So we wanted to make sure every opportunity we get, we just score the ball. Every time we score the ball, wasn't really no panic or anything. It was like, hey, this is what we got to do. This game means a lot. We got to make sure we do what we need to do the second half to get the job done. And again, the guys came through, found a way to get it done.
Who said that you were more in attack mode from that point on? You're down 17, so that had something to do with it, right? Was there a mentality that?
Yeah, because when we watched ourselves, when we play that way, that's when we're at our best. So it came to let's just play that way all the time. Let's just try to play that way all the time and just try to, when you get the ball, do what you can to try to score with it. But have that mindset. And we were capable of doing it at that time, too, because by that time we all knew what we was doing. We were capable of executing versus any defense, any coverages. We were at that point and late in the year. So we just said, hey, man, we're going to be in attack mode, and we'll see how it work out from there.
Penalties were an area that you guys worked so hard throughout the season last year to address. Did it feel like you took a few steps backwards on Thursday? Was it really just the excitement of being back out there? What do you attribute that to?
I don't feel as though we went backwards because I'm not carrying over from last year. I don't see it that way. I see it as a whole new year. We went out there, unfortunately for us, we didn't do what we wanted to do from a penalty or a turnover standpoint. So something for us to work on, get better. The good thing that I do like, though, to be in those type of situations and to find ways to win football games, that's what good football teams do.
Pass protection, though, seemed to hold up really, really well. Can you just speak to that specifically? Because they were throwing a lot of stuff at you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I trust those bigs in front. I trust those five guys. I mean, they do their job. They come to work. They come to practice every day, so they're able to play at a high level on Sunday. So that's just something we tend to see from those guys a lot, just by the work that they put in, the preparation that they put in between them and Tom to make sure they're all on the same page. It just showcases itself on Sunday. I think those guys got a good idea of each other now also.
I think a lot of fans were surprised they didn't see a lot of targets to Gio Bernard. Was that just the way the game played out, or what will his role be going forward?
Well, I mean, we'll continue to try to get the ball to everybody, right? Week in and week out, somebody's going to be the guy that didn't get it, right? So it is what it is. We're trying to win football games. We'll get the football to our playmakers the best way we can. Some days he'll probably have bigger days. He didn't the other day. But it's something that I don't really view it like that or see it like that. I just view it as get the playmakers the ball, do what you got to do to win the game.
One thing we did see, like out here and then in the game, Antonio Brown obviously was a big part of your offense. I think it's like 65% of the snaps. But I mean, you were three receivers, right? Those three guys, Italians. It seems like that's sort of where you want the ball to go with one tight end, as we've seen it in the past. At the beginning of last year, try to get two tight ends on there to get more pass catchers. So are those the three guys, primarily, and then Gronk had a big game that you want to try to keep the ball in their hands?
Yeah, I mean, you're naming 5, 6 guys now at this point, right?
That's four.
Yeah, that's 4. And then you throw Cam in there, who didn't have a lot, but helps us so much in the passing game. Juice is coming and getting ready. So, I mean.
But you're more three wide, one tight end.
Yeah, and it's just to get him the ball, all of them, right? To get him the ball. AB had the matchups last week, whereas though he ended up in more one-on-one situations, and he just won against his guy.
Yeah.
And that's why I tell you guys, I always wanted to be organic, never force the ball anyway. We'll go through our progressions, do what we need to do, and then just get the ball to the right guy, get the ball in the right spot, and just make sure that whoever it goes to, talented to make plays. And we have that, so that's my mindset. Just get them the ball any way you can and let those guys light up once they get it.
Mike Evans was shadowed a lot by Trayvon Diggs, so he didn't necessarily get as many targets. I think a lot of people may be freaking out about that too, but you had told us you got to get a lights out camp and everything. How do you think you performed in this game?
They're freaking out?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, oh, he's not getting as many targets. There's only so many mouths to feed, and I mean, from my perspective, which is not as educated as your perspective, it seemed like Diggs played a pretty good game against him.
I'll put it like this. I think he left this game with more catches than he did a year ago. Am I right? So it's an improvement. No, I don't view it that way. Mike don't see singles. You see, Mike, it's no one guy following him around. So I haven't seen that really in a while versus anybody. There's never really one guy following him a while. We hope we get that at some point. But Mike knows more about the team. All Mike can do is get himself in position. We'll move him around, get him in position to allow him to make plays, but I wouldn't freak out after one game, anybody.
There's also only so many mouths to feed, and it just seems like that was just the way things went for that game.
Yeah, that's just football being football.
How do you think Rojo will bounce back? He had to fumble, didn't play anymore. Bruce said he'll probably start this week, so he's been here before.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Roe at all. We'll continue getting Roe the ball and letting Roe be Roe. Roe is real special running the ball and unique, and we understand that. We understand the talent that he has. It's never perfect in football, right? The game don't go that way. Football don't allow it to be perfect. Football also helps in life lessons, right? It gets tough sometimes, then sometimes it's better for you. But throughout a 17-game season, that's just how it goes. And I think professional athletes know really how to handle that, right? So we'll move on. We'll learn from the mistakes we made. But we got to be focused on doing everything we can to win the next ball game. We got a really team that always play us tough. Every time we play them, it's a tough out. So we got to do everything possible to get ready to play this game.
Leonard Fournette also had a ball bounce out of his hands, and he had mentioned that last year sometimes he would let mistakes kind of snowball into another mistake and another mistake. Can you just speak to his ability to kind of put bad plays behind him and move forward? Has he grown in that area?
Oh, I believe Lenny. We watching Lenny become a pro. I really believe that. So, as professional athletes, it don't always go well. It don't always go well, and it's not the first time that it's not going well for an individual throughout a game, right? That happens week in and week out. The professional guys know how to move past it, get themselves in position, so when the next play present themselves to make, this group tends to make it. So I'm more excited for the guys that people may think they didn't play well just because I know what it does to them. I know how they'll react to that, and I just try to think of giving them more opportunities to play well and play at a high level.
And what other areas have you seen Fournette grow and, like you said, becoming more of a professional?
Every form there is. Every form there is. Preparation, how I practice, the things I got to do to get myself in position to consistently have success. Things that he do every day, you see every day.
We haven't asked you about Tom Brady, I don't think yet, which is weird, right? You've seen this guy in comeback, fourth quarter, overtime situations. Just what is it that now your whole team sort of has this belief that we know how to execute this in the final drive?
It was 100% belief. That was the most thing. In us talking, it was no panic.
Right.
It was like, hey, that's a minute and 20, right? That's a minute and 20. We never have a minute and 20 out here. We always got to go 60, 70 yards. We got 38, 48 seconds. So a minute 20 to us at the time felt like we'll be fine from a time standpoint. Let's just make sure we execute. And there was a few plays made in that drive by Gio and Grunt that allowed that to happen. That's what you're most excited about, the things that we talk about, the things that we prepare for. In those moments, we were able to get the job done. Plays that nobody would really notice, big plays by Grunt and Gio throughout that 2-minute drive that got us in position to make plays.
Is he better equipped because he's been in the system a year, even though you're in his headset, to just continue on and say, I got it, let's keep moving? Like, how much is he able to change things, or in that 2-minute situation where it's a new offense, but he can take control of that?
Oh, he's It's Tom Brady. So if he sees it, like I always tell him, if you see it on the field, sometimes that guy's eyes, the guy behind the center eyes is better than mine from the sideline. So we'll get to wherever. Yeah, I heard about that. Can't believe that made it here.
I was gonna say the second touchdown to Gronk, where literally, when he checked the play like 2-3 times, where it's like, he wanted him to block, and then first he wanted to run the route and block, and then it was all right, block, and it was like he literally threw it with the guy in his face and everything. Would he be able to do that like this time last year?
That part of it, yes. That part of it, because it was something that we knew it would be a possibility. We knew the opportunities may exist that we may get to that. Now, you don't know when it's going to happen. You don't know what play you're faced with that situation. So, but that's the greatness. That's the great thing about Tom. He's been in every situation, right? Every situation possible he's been in. And sometimes he can see it and feel it because he's out there in the grass doing those things. So, man, it's just that's the beauty in having Tom as your quarterback. You could just put it in his hands and he's able to do great things with the football.
And since it is the Falcons week, and he also he alluded to it very subtly in his little celebration video that he posted yesterday, being down 28-3 to the Falcons. You're a fan of the game. What was your reaction watching him do that during the Super Bowl when he was able to come back like that?
He did a video?
Oh,
I'm sorry, I don't know what you're
it's
talking
okay.
about.
He does a weekly celebration video.
I don't watch nothing.
He made a reference to it, so I'm just curious from the Super Bowl where they came back from the Falcons against the Falcons.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you was talking about our second game.
I know I got to be more specific with him, right? My bad.
I don't know. I didn't really see the video. I haven't seen the video to even
That's
comment on
okay. I
it.
just didn't know from your perspective, like as a fan of the game, watching that Super Bowl, him coming back from being down 28-3 with the Patriots. What was your reaction? Especially from a very educated quarterback perspective that you have.
Oh, well, to me, it's just Tom being Tom. You watch that so much, but I can't really recall what really happened. I know the score, but I don't really remember what happened in the Super Bowl. I was probably in my basement somewhere watching it.